Let's play! Whoa!
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. You all may call me Pharaoh, and welcome back to Let's Play Raging Loop. Last time we left off, well, I think the game's true nature kinda came out a little bit. We died to a thing that looks like a werewolf. And then we're explained to that, well, this game's called Raging Loop. You're gonna die many times. You have to keep making choices, go back and get keys and make other choices to unlock the true stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. So, yeah. So that happened, and now we chose another path so we don't die this time. I never liked seeing night gradually turn brighter as the morning arrives. It always made me feel like shit. Like I just done something harmful, both for my body and as a human being in general. I found it natural to spend a night asleep and welcome the morning well-rested and with a smile. I never expected to feel so much gratitude for the morning light leaking through the door of an outhouse. It felt like the beasts have been out and about the whole night. I almost read that as breaths. Naturally, the high humidity here had made my clothes all wet and sticky. It was unpleasant, but even trying to move them and make it more comfortable for myself felt like a matter of life and death. Maybe it was a good thing I couldn't relax, but hell, it was exhausting in more ways than one. When I heard Shiemi shout Haruaki-san in the distance, I was so overcome with relief I almost fell to my knees. If this turned out to be a trick and I opened the door to see some wolf with a chewed collar in its mouth lunging at my throat, I'd just give up and let it have at me at that point. With that in mind, I opened the door. I expected to see the same picturesque village I'd seen yesterday, so what I actually saw shocked me pretty hard. What the hell's up with this thick mist? I couldn't see shit. It was like the entire area was consumed by it. Did someone line every inch of this place with dry ice or something? Haruaki-san! I could hear Shiemi, but not see her. Shiemi-chan! I'm right here! Haruaki-san? What a I heard a wet sound and finally saw a silhouette within the mist. Are you okay? I'm stuck in a field. I walked up and saw exactly what I expected. A girl struggling to free one of her legs stuck deep in a paddy field. I see. Well, good luck. Hey, help me out! Oh, you can't do it yourself. Take my hand, and out you go. What? I took her hand and braced my legs. That was enough to help her, but she lost her balance and... Whoa! Safe! Headlock! This is a wrestling move. You're actually pulling it off! Despite how close we are now, this isn't the least bit romantic. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. I definitely remembered a time where I was far from alright, though. Yeah, I guess I am. I had no idea what that was about, so I didn't see any reason to mention it. I did feel like there was some beast outside. Shiemi's expression immediately darkened. She clearly knew what I was referring to. I have lots of questions, but right now, I'm more interested in the scream I heard than anything else. That was... Huh? Wait, you know what I mean? She fell silent, clearly uncomfortable. It was pretty ominous. This way... Nope, no point delaying the inevitable. Shiemi gave me her hand. I took it, but I didn't feel the least bit excited about this. She led me down the path to the school dorm. Oh! Wait, oh! Fusashi-san, you're okay! Congrats on surviving, Toilet Man! Thanks, Warm Futon Man. You're okay too, Wait, where's Haru-chan? Did she? Oh, no, she's fine. She suffered quite a shock, so she's taking a while to get dressed. I see. So the rest of you have already got to move on. How did you even handle being there anyway? Were you asleep? As if I could. I had no idea where I could get out, so I just waited until I heard Chiimi-chan's voice. Huh? Wait, huh? You were awake? Yasunaga's code made it sound like that was weird. You try slipping in there, guy. You can't even sit, much less lie down. No, that's not what I see. I really hate when people just trail off like that. It makes me way too curious. So usually they're all asleep when the beast arrives? You know what I'm curious about? How come we couldn't just go with Shiemi? Like, just spend a night in her dorm or anyone else's dorm? Why did we have to be separated? Unless everybody was separated and I don't know. Well, why are you here anyway? Waiting for Haru-chan and keeping a lookout? A lookout? We're not letting anyone near the scene until the situation's clear. Scene? So, someone actually... You want to see? It's a good way to test your stomach. Mochi, don't mess around like that. Yeah, I do. The invisible and unknown were way scarier than anything else. Not to mention I could already smell something foul. I lightly moved them aside and walked up to the so-called scene. There was a corpse. It was such a horrible state, it was hard to recognize it as human. Now, frankly, to hold on really quick, can I hide this really quick? Like, this... I mean, it is kind of grotesque still. I mean, obviously you can't see it. It's not, like, super vivid. But even a silhouette and just imagining, like, kind of fill in the blanks, you can tell this person's super mangled. Like, Jesus, you know? Like, ugh. Anyway. I imagine this was what you would have gotten if you'd overturn a butcher's cart. That was how thoroughly the victim was disassembled. Also, the butcher would have had to deal in entrails. Enough of that comparison. Straining my eyes, looked through the thick mist, I could actually make out some human parts within a vast sea of blood, or mountain of death. Hands, torn clothing, hair, and a shoulder bag. How professional. She kept hold of her interviewing tools even while running for her life. Didn't do her odds of survival any favors, though. Oh, yeah. Despite the body's state, it wasn't hard to tell the victim was Hisako Mamiya, the small-time food journalist. That thing. Did it come to me once it was done murdering her? This is awful. Are you alright? You feel nauseous or anything? Shiemi was standing a short distance away, looking at nothing in particular. I got nothing to puke and, well, I'm used to this. Is that where you were studying in college? Well, I guess you can say that. Oh, no, seriously, now he has questions to answer now, too. What the hell? Huh? Seriously? So, can you do, like, autopsies and stuff? When asked if they study medicine, I guess you can say that is what students from similar departments say to make themselves look good. But I did see a few pathology analysis. I crouched down and put my hands together. Then, grimacing at the harrowing reek of blood, innards, and especially digested food, I brought my face closer. Perhaps I could learn something from this? I could, even if it wasn't much. This corpse wasn't split in pieces. The limbs were still connected, but they were folded in an unnatural way and looked really flattened. They were either crushed or bent with no regard to bones or muscle position. Then, her whole body had been torn apart. The innards were particularly badly damaged. The words wolfed down felt like the best way to put it. I was gonna say, because at the silhouette, you can see, like, her feet were right next to her head. And it's like, oh, damn. I found it hard to describe. This wasn't my job, so there wasn't much I could tell about it without touching it. This is way beyond anything I've ever seen before. I can barely tell what happened here. I had an urge to add that this seemed inhuman, but I kept myself from saying that. Anyway, we should call the police. Leave it to the pros. Yeah, something tells me that doesn't happen around here. I said something any good citizen would, but for some reason, they didn't seem to agree. Haruaki-san, the police won't come. Why wouldn't they? I mean, someone died. They won't. Then let's evacuate. That's not happening either. Why? We have my bike in their van. Anyway, with Fusachi-san, we now have all the survivors, so let's go to the dining hall. We'll wait for Haru-chan. Yeah, you do that. Let's go, Haruaki-san. Can I get an explanation here? Sorry, but I'm not in the mood for explanations. Figure it out for yourself. It was the first time Shimi had acted so harsh with me. I was pretty irritated myself, but it must have been worse for them. They actually had info what was happening here. Sorry. That was insensitive of me. Shimi said nothing more and just silently walked off. I followed after her. When we reached the plaza, I instantly understood that what she'd said about evacuating. The bike and van were both completely destroyed. Which, you know, I was thinking about, honestly. It's like, wait a minute. We were working on our bike outside, and then we had to run and hide in our damn outhouse. What, are we to expect, like, the bike was going to remain untouched? So, yeah, we're screwed. Although, can't we just start walking to Kamifujiyoshi and just, like, take transport from there? Because they almost made it seem like that place was normal compared to where we are. So just start walking and just keep walking, never look back. The ladder was in a particularly bad state. The front window was broken, all 4 tires are flat, etc. My bike was on its side, its front fork was broken. Well, it was basically scrap metal now. Fuck. There's a rock right next to it. Guess we had our weapon. And... wait a minute, that's somebody else. That looks different. Yeah, there were more remains inside the van. It looked like an enormous mountain of flesh and bone. Oh no, the big guy. If I didn't know about Yudai Hashimoto-shi, I'd have assumed that there were 2 or 3 corpses here. I was gonna say I do like the detail they put into that, where they're not just reusing a corpse silhouette. It was actually different. Hashimoto-san? Shiemi slowly nodded. I now knew we'd lost not only 2 lives, but any means of transportation as well. Look there! She pointed at a wooden electrical pole. The line was dangling, torn apart with no hope of repair. The other power lines are fine, but the dining hall was destroyed along with the telephone line. We can't contact the outside. Well, see, that's weird. Would the wolf know to do that? Because, in my opinion now, I don't think this is just a random monster or wolf or whatever just appearing from the Saranaga River and that's that. Or like a yokai. This thing must have prior knowledge of the village and it knows what to do. So, hold on. I took out my own phone. It worked, but the battery was almost dead. And like before, it was out of range. The situation had become even harsher than before. Look here, too. She and me walked a few steps away. I followed after. There was a large boulder. It was tall enough to reach an average roof, and there were drawings on it. A crimson symbol of some sort. What did it represent? At first, it looked like an incoherent mess of lines. However, I soon realized that there was a pattern. It felt like the calling card of some street gang. From what I could tell, the basis was a warped diamond shape with a spiral inside. There were 2 of them. They seemed to be drawn in blood, but that wasn't nearly as disturbing as the bizarre shape. 2 wolves have snuck into the village. We have to fight. Shiime made a quiet declaration. Apparently, the settlement had been invaded by something malicious, and it was intelligent enough to get rid of all means of escape or contacting help. I could understand that much, but it didn't make sense to me. This wasn't some isolated island. There was a cliff, sure, but you could still go down to Saranaga or go to Kamifujiyoshi. I'd ask about the next time I had the chance. sorry. Sorry I got mad. It must be hard for you too. Don't worry about that. I'm just an outsider. Don't say that. Oh, poor choice of words on my part. I mean, I'm an outsider who doesn't know the rules, so I'll just silently watch for the time being. I'm tired, but I think I'm less shaken by this than most people, so I figured it's best for me to stay cool. I imagine even the elders here are bothered by this. Haruaki-san, are you really just some university graduate? What else could I be? I don't know. You seem way too calm about this. Like you're used to situations like this. My nerves are pretty messed up, I guess. Now, see, that isn't... No, I don't like that answer at all. Obviously, I mean, I know he said he left home, he left whatever because he broke up with his girlfriend or whatever. There has to be more to it. Maybe this guy was a cop. Shoot, maybe he was an actual serial killer. Watch that be a damn plot twist. The small dining hall was jam-packed with people. You! Yeah, you survived. Good morning. Though I guess it's not very good considering what's going on. I'm sorry. I didn't prepare enough tea. Oh, but it's okay. You didn't you? The younger Orabi boy menaced me. No, I didn't. Why would you think that? Shut it! Where the hell do you get off strutting in like that? Stop it, Yoshibo. You're the one who needs to shut it. The hell? You're the one who said this bastard shady. Man, I hadn't expected to be treated this badly. I'm saying this ain't a matter for a brat like you. And you're bothering Kaori-san, right? Takumi-san, please calm down. Let's keep it peaceful. It's fine. We'll talk it out. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Stop, Taibei. That's a bad omen. Where's the key to the meeting hall? I gave it to Uematsu-sama too, maybe 3 days ago. Said she'd fix the podium. Well, Missy? I'll go and get it. That was a woman. So she wasn't an illusion. Uematsu-sama was her name, huh? I thought our eyes met for a second, but she just walked by me. Wait! Miko-chan, wait here for a moment. That girl was here too. Deeper in, there was Kiyonosuke Nosotoshi, clearly irritated by something. And not too far away, there was the old man who cried wolf. Just like yesterday, it was hard to tell what he was looking at, let alone thinking. They were the only ones sitting, by the way. The others were all just idly standing around. Mom, everyone, we're back! Come in, Haru-chan! Okay. The 3 students were here. With them, the settlement's entire population had gathered. As for the outsiders, the journalists were dead, while I and the mysterious girl had survived. I didn't know the circumstances, but they probably had their reasons to be suspicious of me. Suddenly, Shieme did something unexpected. Rikako-san, can you wait a moment? She stopped the girl who was about to go out and get some key. Oh, hold on a minute. My eyes are itching. Ugh. She was about to go out and get some key? Each villager seemed to call her differently, so I didn't know what to call her myself. This is Haruaki Fusashi-san. He crashed his bike and I met him at Saranaga. Oh, hello. An introduction? Now? Why? This is Rikako Uematsu-san. Uematsu is made of the kanji for spin and end. Pretty rare, right? Well, she's the current head of the Uematsu household, while one of the chief's families from Kamifujiyoshi. I'm Rikako Uematsu. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Oh. So she was a local celebrity, huh? Like Kiyonosuke, she's in the Sato family? And that's Miko-chan. We only call her that because we don't know her real name. But... Hello there. Nice to meet you. The girl they called Miko trembled a bit and... Oh my. Whoa. Sprinted through the crowd to hide behind Rikaku Imatsu. So, what do you want to say, Shimi? I suggest not inviting Haruaki Fusashi-san to the feast. I felt a wave of perplexity go through the room. That ain't how it works. The feast is there to help us decide if he's shady or not, right? Their expressions were stern and their words harsh. No, I'm saying he doesn't even have the right to participate in the feast. The hell are you talking about? He's the shadiest of us all! Yoshi-kun, did you prepare for the feast? Huh? Yeah, I did. Who didn't? How was I supposed to react? No one else was raising their hands, but I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. Me, probably. I don't even know what that entails. The other two who didn't prepare for the feast were taken by the corruption. However, Haruaki-san wasn't. I think that Uokami-sama ignored him. Uokami-sama? As in Wolf-sama? Why the reverence? And what was she even talking about? He's from Saranaga, sure, but he clearly just passed by. In fact, I think he'd get in the way of the feast. No, for all we know, forcing him into the feast would just make the Uokami-sama mad. What do you think, Bachan? Did you really survive without preparation? What was I supposed to do? Purify, shelter, dream. Basically, cleanse your body, lock up in a single building all by yourself, and wait for dawn while asleep. Oh, so that explains why we couldn't just be in the same room. But wait a minute. Lock up in a single building all by yourself. So the student dorms, I guess nobody was in because, or maybe one person had agreed to use them because, I guess you can't share it? I didn't then. I was in the outhouse by myself, but that's it. I didn't bathe and I spent the night awake. The place got noisy. They probably didn't expect that answer. I don't know. This never happened before. Tai-san sounded genuinely puzzled. What do you think, Rikako-san? I had no idea what kind of dynamics were at work here, but Shiemi asked for Rikaku Uematsu's opinion. I consent to the idea. If our great lord Shinai chose to spare him, he must be exempt from the rules of the mountain. Her words created even more commotion. So there. Shimi, you know what you're doing, right? If we remove him... Yeah, we won't have to waste our hanging for the day. Hey, what the f... Oh man, what do you think? It was roundabout, but in the end, once again, the one to make the final call was Kanzo Mikashimashi. He won't be in the feast. Oh man. But... Glaring directly at me, the old man walked through the gathering and approached me. Seeing him from up close, I realized just how big and burly he was. It was pretty typical as someone living in a place like this, but it felt out of place on someone his age. His expression displayed both an inner strength to match his physique and a profound rage. If the laws of the mountain don't work on you, it'll be our rules you follow. If you don't, I'll shoot you dead. He spoke slowly but decisively. Man, this was uncomfortable. Now, hold on! If he can be excluded, I would like the same to happen to Rikaku-san and I. Huh? Why? We're from Kamafujiyoshi. We have no reason to play along with Saranaga's business. Nosato-sama, that won't do. If you're here on the day of the feast, it doesn't matter if you're Nosato, Umatsu, Miguruma, or Higuchi. Uncle, that'd mean Yasan and I could leave too. You were both disinherited. That's different. Why must people that are still part of our four families take part in this idiocy? Listen here, Kyo. Don't call me that, Muro. Let's go, Rikuko-san. We have no reason to play with these peasants. No, Nosato-sama. Those in Fujiyoshi have a duty to remain present. All remains in the hands of Shinai-sama, and we now gather upon the platter named Yasumizu. But... if you got a problem, then get out. Let the corruption take you. Kiyonosuke-shi eventually fell silent, and Rikako left. to the key, probably. She returned in no time, and everyone began leaving. You're not coming with us. All right. Where to, then? Takumi? Is the cage open? Well, yeah. All right, I'll take him. Come with me. Everyone went to some hall near the village plaza, while Takumi led me elsewhere. We made our way through the tall grass between the buildings. At a dead end next to wild trees and a rocky cliff, there was a large cage. It even had a roof, and would have passed for a hut with a bit of work. This is where we keep the live game we capture. Sorry, but you'll have to wait here. I can't say no, can I? Don't take it the wrong way, okay? You'll be out once we're done with the feast. It won't take long. And I can't get any details, huh? Yeah, I do feel bad about this, but you should be thankful you don't need to take part in the feast. How's that supposed to feel that way if I didn't even know what the hell the feast was? I would have asked, but he looked pretty irritated. Probably because he wanted to get it over with. So, I kept my mouth shut. The floor of the cage was mostly gravel, with spaces of wheat and other things littered about. There was a vague but very clear scent of beasts. Can I lie down here? I figure I should sleep whenever I can. Man, you're brash. No, I'm just a coward. I don't want to die, is all. That was why I'd abandoned those people. After Takumi-san locked me in and left, I laid down and closed my eyes. The ground was hard, and it reeked pretty bad, but it was still an improvement over the outhouse. I should have taken the time to think about what the villagers had said, about my strange memories, and about how I could get the hell out of here. That was what I wanted to do, but I knew that I'd just be swept away by an unproductive spiral of regret if I went down that rabbit hole. Had I always been this admirable of a person? Another thing. For some reason, I felt like I'd spend the entirety of this time just watching the battle. So I decided that I'd focus on resting, in preparation for what was to come. This is a new scene. Let me, I'm gonna go ahead and hide this really quick. So, I mean, yeah, that's everybody. No, wait a minute. No. Is that everybody? Oh, wait. I was like, who the hell is that in the middle? But I guess that's supposed to be Mochi. Oh, man, my bad. I thought that was a little boy. Whoops. Well, actually, you know what? I do find it weird that there's space to the right. As if there are people supposed to be there. Now, once again, this is a game where several paths diverge, right? So maybe there's a scene where I forgot their names already, like Yoshimitsu or the big guy and the lady journalist. Like, if they survive and they participate in this feast, or even myself, I'm a little bit confused about this, but here we are. Everyone sitting? Then let's begin the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Uematsu-sama, if you may. This is sacred sake presented to us by Shianai-sama. Please drink it, starting from the youngest. Sake. You just put your mouth to it. No drinking for you kids. Not like it kill me. Stop it, Yoshisugu. You say something too, Yosanaga. Yoshisugu, this is just for tradition's sake. Shut it! I know how it is, Anaki. I don't want to drink this. Haru-chan, just kiss it. There, done. And I'm done too. Same here. Shiani? Alright, adult time. Here I go. This is enough for me. It's better than I expected, Muro. Wait, it's better than I expected. Muro? We're drinking sake during the day. This feast is something. Here, old man. Don't spill it, Taba. I'll have it. Can you hold it, mister? Sake. Well, that's done. Taba, Explain.
All know the tales, don't you? When the evening mist comes, the Uokami-sama, the wolves, come back to life and try to slay the humans. There were 2 symbols of the Yomatsu Okami. That means that 2 wolves have risen. That's why we must do as Shienai-sama says and throw feasts so we can find and hang them using the powers of the guardians some of us were given. If we don't, we will be taken by the corruption. That means dying a horrible death. To avoid the corruption, we must have feasts to slay the wolves. That is our role as inhabitants of Yasumizu. Oni-chan, what does slay mean? It means kill. Scary. It's fine. I'll protect you. Sorry for interruption, Yamawake-san. It's okay. Children always do that. She's not the only one among us who could be a wolf.
Good grief, what nonsense. If that's what you think, then just fuck off and let the corruption have ya.
Yoshisugu!
Orebi-san, I'm concerned about your son's upbringing. I'm like this because I want to be. Don't drag the hag into this. Shut up, Yoshisugu. I'll punch you.
Huh? Takumini? The hell are you acting tough for?
If I say I'll punch you, you too. If I say I'll punch you, I will. You too, Kyo. Just shut up and listen. You don't have the guts.
You hear that?
Adults don't like stuff that like that get to them. Anyway, Bachan, this doesn't seem right to me. I've been hearing about this ever since I was young, but it never made sense to me. We've been here for as long as we can remember. With the exception of Miko, we all know each other. They've been replaced by wolves? Like hell. They're the same as always. Takumi, you've been naive. What? You're saying there's someone shady among us? Everyone's shady.
Oji-chan.
You be careful too, Haru. Even beasts can trick people. And people trick better than any beast. There are things out here acting like they're one of us.
Why are you so confident?
That is truth than what the ancestor said.
Well, if you say so. That's just what Yasumizu's numbskulls say, isn't it?
Chikomochi.
Again? You arrogant little...
Mochi, stop that. I'm sorry. So, what do we do now? What do you mean? We talk and decide, right?
Will that be enough? I mean, we're deciding on who to kill here, aren't we?
Everyone will say what they think, and then we'll narrow down to the most reasonable opinion.
Shienai, what do you think? I think it's a mess. We already have people who think no one's shady, and those who think everyone is. Yammering on and on about something that can't be reasonably decided is a waste of time. Besides, in the end, this is just going to be decided by whoever's most influential.
What are you getting at? Don't worry too much, Shiemi. Most of us here are Yasumizu brothers and sisters. It'll work out in the end.
I appreciate your being so considerate, but we're talking about killing someone here. Plus, it gets worse. If you don't want to pick someone close to you, you'll choose someone else. Someone who you don't like, or a stranger. Personally, I think you shouldn't let that kind of thing affect your decision. It'd be a grave mistake.
Hey, I'm trying to say that killing and all that shit is insane and we should stop it.
That won't do, Takumi.
Bachan's saying the same thing. That's why we gotta talk it out, you know?
I know what you're trying to say, but... can I? Haru-chan speaking. What's the likelihood of the guy Chiani brought into being the one who killed the journalists? See, what did I just say? I don't think he did. It's just my gut, though. What about you guys?
Takumi, you said he's shady. Yeah, I did. But like Shime said, we shouldn't make decisions based on that. Also, the guy's weird, but I don't think he'd do something like that.
I'm with you on that. This is our problem, so we should solve it by ourselves.
Isn't that basically choosing someone based on who you like?
So, who do you think you should choose, Kiyonosuke-san?
I believe majority rule is the most reliable method here, Yosunaga Orobi-kun. Hail democracy and all that. That's not very like you. I'm merely saying that there's no better way to get the common opinion of this many people. Also, taking it out and making a decision then is basically taking a conclusion most people agree with, no? That's the same as majority rule. Otherwise, like you mentioned, everything would be decided by whoever had the most influence. Who would that be here in Yasumizu? Kanzo Makishima-shi? Tai Yokawaki-san? And who would be killed? Me, of course, the non-local. Isn't that foolish considering the people deciding might themselves be wolves?
Masato-san.
Just so you are aware, I have no intention of dying. At the very least, I want a method where I have a say in what happens. I'm against that. Majority rule? Yeah, we'll get a conclusion, but there's no guarantee it'll be right. I still think talking it out and deciding then is the best.
Well, speaking of which, what will we even talk about? Taiba-chan, you said something about the Guardians of the Mountain lending us their aid, right? Yes. The snake, the monkeys, the crow, and the spider will lend us their aid. Do you know any details? The snake? Ah! Old fart, you know about it? Yeah, the snake can ask the mountain who's a wolf. They're two monkeys. They both know who the other monkey is. The crow can ask the mountain if the hanged one was a wolf. The spider can ask the mountain to protect someone from the wolves, but only for one night. That's what I've been told too. And a wolf has come. I wasn't aware you knew this. I thought you were just senile, but it looks like you're pious too. Anyway, that means some of us here should have those powers. What do you mean? Wait, do God and the Guardians even exist? Isn't it just some serial killer using old folktales as a cover? Haru-chan, God really does exist. You just believe he does. No, all of us must have seen Shianai-sama at least once in our lives. But that's... Calm down, Haru-chan. Are you alright? Yeah, sorry. Whether it's true or not, we should start by putting together what we know. It's too early to decide anything. Let's make the Guardian thing a bit easier to understand. Can't you youngins remember the old tales better?
The snake sees, the monkeys hold hands, the crow tastes, the spider protects. The snake can discover the wolves among the people. It's also the guardian beast of the Migurama family. The monkeys know for certain that the other monkeys aren't wolves. It's the guardian beast of the Higuchi family. The crow can tell the one who died was a wolf or not. It's my family's, Nasato's guardian beast.
That's pretty sad.
Silence. And the spider can keep the wolves from entering someone's home. It's the Uematsu's guardian.
Indeed. Each family's crests represent their guardians too. But how do those chosen by those guardians use their powers? The snake writes the name of one still living person on someone and puts it under their pillow before bed. The next morning, Shinai-sama tells them whether it's a human or a wolf. There are two monkeys, and Shinai-sama tells them who the other monkey is at the moment they're granted protection. The crow is told whether the person who was hanged the day before is a human or not. The spider writes the name of one still living person and places it on their pillow. That person will be protected from the wolves, but only for one night. With these methods, we must use the powers of the guardians to pick someone to hang each day. If we get all the wolves, we win. If the wolves get everyone else, we lose. Do you understand now?
Yeah, but where'd you even learn this?
I heard about it from my Oba-chan. Wait, that means those who have village head family blood have their guardians, right? I'm not so sure about that. I mean, we don't have anyone with a Miguruma blood, disowned or not. I heard that. The guardians are very fickle about who they lend their aid to. Then who are they? Well, if they reveal it, they might make themselves targets for the wolves.
We won't get anything done. We can't talk it out, though.
You think so? What if...
Oh, screw this. We're wasting time here. Listen up. My guardian's a snake. Well, then. So, I didn't make the distinction yet, but... I mean, I mentioned at the very beginning of this LP, like, talking about the game itself, that this is a werewolf/mafia type of game. I mean, it was even explained to us by Rikako during like the tutorial. So this is basically Genosha, but from what I'm understanding, there's no gameplay. Like, at least with Genosha, yes, it was a visual novel, but we actually played through and tried figuring out who the Genosha were, the werewolves were, whether we were right or not, and we were stuck in a loop. This, on the other hand, like, the choices are made. I mean, yeah, we make some choices here and there, but the actual, like, figuring things out and all that, I don't think exists. Like, just right now, he just blurted it out. So his family's a snake. And if I'm not mistaken, they said the snake is who determines if the person who was hanged or not was a wolf or human, right? Oh, crap, I'm already getting it mixed up. The snake, the monkeys, the spider. My God, I already forgot the fourth one. Oh, we'll figure it out later. Huh? What? Takumini, is that true? How do you even know that?
I forgot to explain that. The guardians come when we're dreaming and leave a mark for that chosen one. If you wish to borrow their power, write it up and put it in your pillow. The mark will give you their answer.
Yeah, I had a mark on me. I don't remember the dream, though.
The snake sees. Does that mean Takumi Nichan already knows who the wolves are? No. As I said, he has to write it up, and he can only choose one person per night.
Oh, so wait, the snake is the one who figures out, it's kind of like the engineer. No, not really engineer. Like, we have to, like, say, like, see, like, okay, well, we'll investigate this person and see if they're a wolf or not. I think that's how it goes.
Huh? So we won't know anything until tomorrow morning? Yes.
Can I ask something, Moro? What is it? Why did you reveal such important information for no reason? What do you mean, why? We have no other information to go on.
Well, based on what's been said, the snake's power is very important. It makes you a very powerful asset in a fight against the wolves. So, revealing it like you did puts you in grave danger.
I ain't scared at all. But how can you say that? Did you see what those monsters did to those people?
Oh, so you believe in monsters?
It was a figure of speech. Anyway, this turn of events has cost us a valuable weapon. Oh, don't just decide that. You don't know shit. Yes, I do. But listen to me, everyone. Anything you say here is free information for the wolves. We should talk things out without overplaying our hands, yeah?
Well, that's true. And it gave me an idea.
I'm the one speaking now. Quiet, fool. Yasu, speak. Huh?
Well, to make the best use of Takumini's reveal, the spider should protect him. The spider among us, without revealing his or her identity, should, write his name down, I suppose, and protect him. That would keep him safe. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. Yasu, oh man. You'll be safe today. Ask the snake to tell you about someone.
Whatever he finds out will definitely be correct, right? Right. Takumi-chan, can you promise you won't lie no matter who you investigate and what result you get?
Of course I won't.
Well, isn't that good enough for today? I don't think we can hang anyone without any kind of proof. You sure that's okay? Why wouldn't it be? Just sitting around waiting doesn't suit me, okay? I know that. By the way, I think Takumi should tell us who will investigate.
Why?
So if you investigate someone and don't like the result, you can't lie to you actually investigate someone else.
What the? I wouldn't lie. Well, that's reasonable. I'd say it's necessary for Muro, considering how sympathetic he is to Yasumizu's inhabitants.
He's not that special in that regard. Everyone wants to protect their own, but the situation doesn't allow that. There's another positive to that. We can all discuss and decide who we should investigate first, right?
True. I'd like to think about that, talk about that too. Who do you think I should go for, Yosunaga?
I'm not too sure, but I think we should start with the one who's most likely to be unjustly chosen to be hanged.
That would be me. Honestly, I feel as though I can't even speak if I'm not confirmed to be human.
You're speaking quite a lot if you ask me.
Then I'll investigate Kiyo. Is that okay? Fine by me. Then we're not hanging anyone today.
Is that really fine?
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. That's it for today.
So they had their meeting, but does that... How often do the wolves attack? Is it literally every night until they're disposed of? And why now? Like, it seems like everyone's aware of this, but how often does it happen? Or was it just out of nowhere, like today, because of the journalists didn't follow their rituals that they got killed? I might be overthinking this too much.
I was woken up by several voices.
He's actually asleep. Was, anyways.
We're done for today. Sorry for the wait. Good to hear.
Ow.
Unfortunately, waking up provided that this whole mess wasn't just a nightmare. So, is the feast some sort of ritual? The kind you do to ward off evil or whatever? No, it's more of a gathering. I see. So you try to find a culprit.
Haruaki-san, you don't beat around the bush, do you?
Yeah. I realize I'm a real victim here, so I need information. It's a tall order to stay alive without any.
Takumi-ni-chan, can I tell him about this?
Yeah, better you than me. I gotta go clean up and stuff. Takumi-san walked away.
Clean up?
The bodies, I assume.
Yeah, Taiba-chan probably won't let us off until we set the Yomibito to Saranaga.
You're supposed to preserve the scene of a crime, right? This is doing the exact opposite. Then again, excuse me, it didn't seem like anyone expected the cops to show up in the first place. Well, here's my first question then.
Let's take this somewhere more private.
This is... Shime took me to the place where I'd met Rikaku, Uematsu, and Miko. It was a grass field of stones littered all over. It bordered Saranaga.
You could say this is the heart of our religion. The graveyard of the hanging pine.
Now that's a hell of a name. The place was filled with dense mist, but it was probably thinner than that in the rest of the settlement. The sunlight seemed brighter here as well. I could even see a bit further. The hanging pine had to be the old-looking tree at the edge. Is this really a graveyard?
Yes. I don't know about the ones in the actual settlement, but these stones here are all graves. Remember how you tripped on one of them? Pretty bad move, huh? Better apologize.
Huh? Seriously? You should have told me sooner. Yasumizu's ancestors, I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought that'd scare you. I know you didn't really have a choice, but I brought you here to a half-ruined village of monsters in it.
You believe in monsters?
I mean, we saw for ourselves, remember?
Yeah, I asked, ignoring what I've seen for myself.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I do.
Shime's voice resounded through the impossibly thick, cloudy air. I didn't think you were the type.
And you're the type who's weirded out by that. Wait, and you're the type who's weirded out by that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Bullshit. I can see it all over your face.
Was it really that obvious? It wasn't like I found it disgusting or anything. I just didn't think I could get along with people who believe stuff like that despite a lack of actual proof. That was probably how it was. Can I have a reason?
What? I don't have one.
Not sure I believe that.
Well, if I do, it's 'cause I've seen God.
That was,
See, you're weirded out.
Tell me more.
Wow, not bailing out after all. For now, let's just focus on the immediate issue.
She was hiding something. It was either that hard to explain or a lot more important than she was acting. About this feast thing, huh? All right then.
Shimi's explanation.
Yay, I've been waiting for this. A graveyard probably wasn't a place to joke around like this, but at least you could see past your nose, and it didn't seem like we had to worry about anyone eavesdropping. I tried putting together everything Shime had told me. First, Fujiyoshi Village had a unique legend. There might have been similar ones somewhere outside, but I just treated it as Fujiyoshi exclusive for the time being. The people here worship a god called Great Lord Shinai, the avatar of Shinai, or just Shinai-san. Also, the mountain this village was on was called Mount Shinai, meaning this religion defined a mountain. Anyway, sometime in the past, not known when, Shinai-san had helped the people here living here by sending 5 beasts called guardians. Wait, 5? Well, one of them is the wolf, okay. However, just like nature could be really harsh, he had a scary side too, and if you didn't follow his laws in the mountain, he'd curse you without mercy. The Okami-sama was the ultimate form of his cruelty. Though the Okami-sama watched over the hunt, the Okami-sama also oppressed, tortured, and punished humans. The other guardians, though, were largely benevolent ones. The snake predicted the weather and harvest yields, bolstering the humans' prosperity. The monkeys defied the wolves, secretly teaching the people of fire, along with other important bits of knowledge, kind of like Prometheus. The crow pecked at and ate up the flesh of the Yomibito, the enemies of the Shinai-san. The spider warded off the Yomibito and ensured that the humans slept and dreamt soundly. The Yomibito did indeed mean people from Yomi, as in the land of the dead, but apparently it wasn't very clear what they actually were. But just as I suspected before, it was thought that they had something to do with the corruption, death, and land of the Yomi. The most likely idea was that they were the dead that had returned from Yomi to bring harm to the people still alive. At the start of the legend, Shinai-san, the animals, and humans were facing the Yomibito. Apparently, that was still how it was in Kami Fujiyoshi, the leading part of Fujiyoshi. It was the basis of the teachings of the Great Lord Shinai's religion. Thanks to that, the 5 beasts, including the Okami-sama, and Shinai-san, were still worshipped there. In Yasumizu, however, things were a bit different. The legend here had a turning point when the humans, snake, monkeys, crow, and spider cooperated to kill the Okami-sama. With the destruction of their cruel rule, the human village experienced great growth. That had been when the 4 head families, who were said to have the blood of the 4 guardians in their veins, were formed. The snake was Migurama, the monkeys were Higuchi, the crow was Nasato, and the spider was Uematsu. However, it didn't end there. Excuse me. The Okami-sama joined the Yamibito side and became a sinister creature that wanted to bring harm to humans. The Saranaga Rapids were Yamibito territory, and the Okami-sama appeared from there whenever the evening mists came. The Okami-sama would then kill the inhabitants, take on their form, and act like them. But at night, they would show their true self and brutalize the real inhabitants. That was why the people of Yasumizu, who lived next to the Saranaga Rapids, had to stop them. For that, the Great Lord Shinai created an event called the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Despite the name, it was no banquet, but a ritual to kill the wolf. In the feast, the villagers were allowed to kill 1 person a day. You had to basically kill your own people. something that was taboo for ages. But it was permitted here in order to rid the group of the wolf. Some humans were also given the powers of the guardians: snake, monkeys, crows, and spider. It was like a banquet of betrayal. They all drank some sake and chose someone to kill.
That more or less explains everything.
I see. It was a lot to unpack, but I got the gist of it. Basically, the humans betrayed Okami-sama, one of their guardian divinities, and were still paying the price. But there were some points I didn't really get. I won't tell this to anyone but you, but I'm pretty sure I saw the Okami-sama.
No way! Where?
I just took a peek through space in the outhouse door, so I didn't get a good look. I couldn't tell her that I had a realistic dream where I was killed. Oh, you thought it was a dream, but it had a human body and the head of a wolf, I think.
No way.
Can I take that as he seriously saw it?
Yeah, no, a human body and wolf head matches up with the depiction of the Okami-sama in Shinai-san's festivals and the defied images in Kamifujiyoshi.
Before I saw it, though, I heard a woman scream, so I figured that thing killed Mamiya-san. Was that the brutalization you told me about? I mean, if it killed and replaced her, you wouldn't have her body, right?
Sorry, I forgot to tell you something. Shinai-san is very strict with his laws and gives various punishments to those who break them.
Yeah, you mentioned something like that.
Basically, they broke the rule of preparing for the feast by bathing, locking up in a room all by herself and sleeping. That's why it's believed that they died to the corruption.
You know, I couldn't see how you could get such mutilated corpses from something called the corruption, but there was something more important. Basically, you didn't tell me about the laws that turned me into Toilet Man so I could die, huh?
No. Listen, I honestly thought there was no way an outsider could survive. But I wanted to at least find a way that gave you a shot at making it through the night, because I didn't want to let you die.
And look at that. I actually survived.
Yeah. Sorry, but I really didn't expect this.
Shame I didn't get sploosh-splashed, huh? Or sploosh-splooshed, huh?
Don't be like that. I'm actually really glad you didn't die.
You know, I wasn't sure how to feel about this, but hey, at least you tried, right? So that scream really was Mamiya-san's, huh? Or was it someone who got brutalized?
No, I'm not really sure.
From what you told me, it's possible that that was your scream and that the Okami-sama already replaced you.
Well, it's possible. But I know full well I'm no wolf, and that's what I'm gonna say.
Just like everyone else, huh?
Fair point.
Now, this was a predicament. Question 1.
Ask away.
Are those marks the only proof that there are two wolves? I recall the strange symbols of a large rock, the two warped diamonds and spirals inside.
Yeah, no, that mark represents the Okami-sama returning from Yomi, so since there are two marks, it stands to reason that there are two wolves.
So it's speculation.
Not much reason to question it, though. We have these annual mountain festivals, and there's always a guardian costume parade. The number of wolves in a parade is announced in a similar way.
Wait, so it's normal for there to be multiple wolves, huh?
Yeah. In Shinai-sama's shrine, for example, you have 3 wolf statues. For the festival, the Amiguruma divine the number of wolves or something, and then record that number overnight.
By leaving those marks on the stones, huh?
No, Kamifujiyoshi doesn't have Okiba, those stories I mean, so they apparently draw them on the shrine grounds.
Apparently?
The people of Yasumizu are taught to wait for the guardians in Yasumizu, so I never saw the marks myself.
So one of those marks in Kamifujiyoshi means one wolf in a parade.
Not exactly. The wolf sign in Kamifujiyoshi isn't as warped for one.
The mark with the spiral and the diamond is only the sign of wolves that came back from Yomi. It's a Yasumizu thing, so don't have it. So they don't have it in Kama Fujiyoshi. I see. But still, the number of wolves and marks match up. Yep, a 3-wolf festival is considered good luck there. Shimi herself didn't look the least bit happy to talk about it. Anyway, all I had to take from this was that there was at least 3 Okami-sama wolves. I had to fix my perception of the situation. The wolves were a group of 3 werewolves. I wasn't too well versed in myths or folklore, but I certainly I certainly haven't heard of any Japanese myth about werewolves or wolf men. I did hear of Jinmenkin and the possession of fox spirits, but werewolves did seem like a very European thing. On the other hand, the fact that there were 3 of them seemed pretty standard. I guess it had something to do with representation, trinities, and all that. Though the idea of 3 werewolves did seem a bit excessive in terms of content. Anyway, I now had a better grasp of the situation. That made it easier to understand what was going on here. What about the humans who got guardians? How many of them are there? There are 2 monkeys, but only one of the rest. I see. So there are 5 guardians and 2 wolves, and the rest are humans. It's pretty bad that there's 2 wolves. Because that makes them strong? That's one reason, but you can only kill 1 per day, right? If there's multiple, then getting them all will take some time. Oh yeah, I just realized. The crow would be kind of pointless if there was only 1 wolf. Why? Well, the crow's ability lets them tell whether a corpse is a human or a wolf, right? That means the wolf doesn't transform back into a wolf even when it dies. The corpse stays human. That makes a crow's power useful. You wouldn't be able to tell if a wolf was dead otherwise. Yeah, that's true, but what does that have to do with the number of wolves? Well, imagine if there's only 1 wolf, and they killed him. What happens next? I got nothing. Exactly that. Nothing. Or rather, the wolves won't kill any more people. Game over. Humans win. Oh, I see. So, if there was only 1 wolf, you could tell it was dead because the killings would stop. And the crow would be pointless. Exactly. Wow, you're sharp. Well, it's not like this information is very useful. I'm still impressed by how you keep cool in this mess. You're not just some student, are you? What else could I be? A detective? I like that. I'm a famous detective who came to solve a difficult case in the countryside. Saishi Yokomizu's world. And you normally investigate affairs and debts. Wow, that got real quick. Anyway, I got more questions. How many people can the wolves kill per day? It'd suck if everyone got killed overnight. Well, that won't happen. Remember the snake? They need to ask the mountain who's what. True. And the spider would be pretty useless if they just protected 1 human while everyone else, including them, died. This is also why I wondered if Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san got brutalized. Killing even 2 people would make it pretty bad, but if it was just 1 per day or... Oh, that raises another question. Why did these supernatural monsters even need to follow rules like that? Is that weird? Of course it is. Imagine if there were 3. 1 corpse would barely serve as a snack. I don't think they're attacking people because they're hungry. Oh, so they're just out for revenge? I'm not really sure, but it doesn't seem like they're doing this because they want to. I feel like they have their own laws they have to obey. That was what bothered me so much. The Feast of the Yomi Purge had rules, and breaking them would mean being taken by the corruption. Some sort of supernatural punishment from Shinai-san. If this was really just divine retribution, surely he would want the Yomibito done away with immediately. However, instead, the humans retained the aid of their guardians and only 1 kill was permitted each day. Even the wolves couldn't break that rule. Were the laws of the mountain really equally binding to both man and wolf? In Christian theology, both humans and Satan were God's creations, equal before him and all acting based on his master plan. Was the god of the mountains similarly inclined? A legend of slain wolves and their revenge. Was it really that simple? Or was there something else going on? It was quite scary. And I wanted to know all about it. I guess we should at least ask the elders how many people the wolves kill.
True. But is someone really gonna die again tonight?
We already got 2 casualties. And for all we know, those the wolves replaced might be dead too. Hold on. They're cleaning up the bodies, right? We gotta check them properly to see if there aren't more than 2 bodies or anything.
Kanzo Jichan checked it first thing in the morning. There were only 2 people's worth of bones and guts.
Huh. Really? Does he have experience doing this kind of thing?
He's a hunter, so he's used to butchering animals.
Well, that made sense. Well, that reminds me. This is probably the most important thing. Why aren't you trying to run away and call the police? I want a straight answer to this. I honestly can't think of a better move in this situation. I was aware that people here were superstitious, but those superstitions are getting people killed. So why was not a single person objecting?
We can't escape this place.
Can I ask why?
It's complicated, but we all know it's true. There's no way to escape this place. The mist is completely impassable. I'm not going to waste time on something I know it can't be done.
Have you seen it yourself, or are you just trusting what someone else said?
Sorry, I really can't explain how, but I just know. Once the feast begins, no one can leave Yasumizu.
So it wasn't logic, but blind conviction. Or perhaps she subconsciously gained the knowledge through some experience. Yeah, it makes me wonder, are we the only ones that have this power or time travel thing? Because I highly doubt it. Yeah, as if. So you have no proof, but still believe you can't escape.
Yep, everyone else would probably say the same.
What are the odds that your blind faith isn't something that's totally bullshit?
Well, higher than 0.
And what if I said that I, as someone that's overlooked by the god of the mountain, would try to leave anyway?
I'd do everything I could to stop you. Even if the others allow it, it's because they don't care if you die.
Well, that was pretty scary. So you're worried about me?
More than anyone else here.
Thanks. I just feel the love.
Love?
She was going all right on me now. This seems to be taking it pretty far for an act. No. No. I just
have a conscience.
The others here don't then, huh?
Well, you should know that they're way colder to outsiders than they appear. I'm kind of an outsider myself, so I can relate to your situation.
You'd go on a road trip with someone just based on that?
Hey, that might have been our final farewell in this life, so I wanted to make it nice.
Huh? Well, you only agreed because you felt sorry for me? Don't think you can get out of your promised land that easily.
Wow, how to respond to that? Oh, but wait, your bike's broken.
It was for a date. I'll take a loan for a new one.
A date? I guess it is. But wait, you'll take out a loan while you're still in school? Besides, don't promises like that usually end up with someone dying? Let's worry about that after we survive.
Shit. First she was all over me, but now she was playing hard to get. In normal circumstances, that would be kind of fun, but right now, she was the only one I could rely on. The emotional support would have been nice. So back to the whole police
thing. Really, you can't expect that much from them here.
Because it's supernatural?
Well, that's one reason, but we also just have one officer in Kamafujiyoshi. And Kamafujiyoshi wants nothing to do with what happens here in Yasumizu.
You know, I've been thinking.
Spot on.
I hadn't even said anything yet.
Yep, Yasumizu is basically the local settlement for those who were ostracized.
She really did guess what I was going to say. Ostracism. In ancient times, villages often punished criminals and the like by ostracizing them. They were ignored and excluded from all social welfare aid. Basically, people were excluded from the larger group and treated coldly. It was one step away from banishment. It wasn't just emotional torment either. Back in those days, not getting the help of others was a matter of life and death, making this quite a harsh punishment. Did you all do something? Well, most of us did nothing. The Makishima, Yamawaki, and Muro families have been here for generations. Can you keep a secret? Sure. Kaori Orabi-san was originally an outsider who married into the Higuchi family, but her husband messed up somewhere down the line and died. I hear she was forced to move here, Yasukun, and who was still very little. Well, that wasn't a pleasant story. I heard ostracism still survived even in this day and age. Some rural groups would brazenly cut off your gas or water supplies if you didn't fit in. Then again, neighbors in cities had their own communication problems. Basically, humans really haven't changed much over the years. Still, ostracism makes because of family troubles in this day and age? It seems so weird, ugly, and behind the times. Then there's Mochi. He was listening. Wait, so Mochi is I do apologize. I know the whole thing. Like, I assumed it was a girl now because they were wearing a dress, but I apologize. You know, I can't make those assumptions, but yeah. He was in the Sato family's heir apparent. Guy's an actual blue blood. Huh? Really? Yeah, he and Kiyonosuke-san are uncle and nephew. They were nothing alike. Mochi's a bit weird, though, so he was put on for adoption and sent to Yasumizu. Oh, yeah. Kiyonosuke she had said something like that. Sheesh, what century did they think it was? What about you? I didn't. Oopsie. Did you used to be a bit wild? You don't like that? Nope. I'm actually into that. Wow, you really go all in, don't you? With her pulling hit and runs, I really had no choice. I'm waiting. Like, I know the video's over an hour. I'm just waiting until we get to another scene, and then I'll stop it. Anyway, this place is basically abandoned. I couldn't expect any outside help, and everyone here believed that they couldn't escape this place due to supernatural reasons. What were my options here? Oh, actually, this is a choice that it's gonna do something, right? Now, yeah, it's gonna do something. Oh man, what the hell would I pick? Actually, this is the perfect time for to end the video then. Next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to choose what I should do. Should I try leaving Yasumizu? Or should I stay and play into this whole tradition thing they got going on? We'll find out. So, as usual, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time for Let's Play Raging Loop. Love you all so much. Have a great day.